way, race fans, this is a replay, but to be able to watch live and hear from the drivers and see the pre- and post-race reaction, download and subscribe to the Trans Am app. Available on both Android and iOS, this is the only place to watch the 2021 season of Trans Am live, with over 10 hours of coverage each and every weekend. Live timing, results and news, as well as pre- and post interviews, as our global live stream takes you to the heart of the action. To subscribe, download the Trans Am app or scan the QR code to be part of the fastest growing series in America. Subscriptions for the race weekend are just $9.99 and $59.99 for a full season. So come and join us for the 2021 season on the Trans Am app, the only way to see the races live and get your muscle car media. On the left-hand side in all yellow, Rafa Matos will try and take the lead away from Mike Skeen as they dive up the hill under the Weathertech Raceway Laguna Seca bridge and down to the Andretti curve for the first time. Skeen has the lead. Here comes Merrill up the inside. Three-way into Andretti. Merrill will take the lead brilliantly.
That's the confidence that we're talking about right there. And Thomas Merrill, beautiful, beautiful move into turn one.
Rafa Matos will get his Brazilian blood boiling after that because he was duffed up unceremoniously. He slots into third place, but Merrill, the Salinas maestro, is off and running into turn three, leading this race from Skeen and Matos. The rest of the group following on in fourth place, Michael Self leading that group.
Yeah, Connor Mosak got another great start. Sam Mayer looks like he's pumping his way through the field here as well. So a couple great starts there for the Legacy cars.
Yeah, I talked to Scott Lagacy, of course, who's kind of mentoring both those youngsters. They're in their teens. They've got big futures ahead of them. Sam Mayer is already performing very well in the Truck Series for NASCAR, and I think he's using this opportunity to learn Sonoma, to learn Laguna, and learn his future quite literally here in Trans Am, and we're delighted to have him. We've had many drivers have done exactly that, like Christopher Bell and a few others over the years, and it's a great breeding ground to learn how to race stock cars fast on a road course. And of course NASCAR now going to Coda and many other tracks like Watkins Glen and so forth. It's a great place to ply their trade, so to speak. On board with Rafa Matos, looking for the overtake on Skeen, does it at 11. Classic.
Absolutely, classic move, beautiful move by Matos. He's been itching to get it by him. Skeen was very defensive, getting up into the corkscrew. I think that move might have happened a couple corners sooner. So look for Matos to put the targets out there on Thomas, because Thomas was taking off. And Rafa saw that, did not want to see that happen, because talking to Rafa, he's very confident in his chances this weekend.
I'm surprised Skeen didn't defend a little harder than he did there, but there you go. Michael Self going well. And right up there is Connor Mosak in fifth place, his first run. Edward Savagian down in sixth, got slotted back a little bit, now racing with Tyler Casera for seventh. Tyler looking for his first podium here at Laguna Seca, lives here on the West Coast. Excuse me, he doesn't live here on the West Coast, he lives in Wisconsin. What am I talking about? But Tyler Casera looking for a good result here, and one of the Mike Cope cars, that's the number 9 of Keith Prochuk.
Yeah, beautiful move by Keith. That was a nice classic move underneath. Getting around, I believe, was that Doug that he got around? So, yeah, Doug Peterson is under attack again.
On board with Drew Nobauer, who is a West Coast specialist in TA2. We have several different championships, but this is the all-national championship, and it gets the very best out of them. We're delighted to welcome the West Coast drivers, as I just saw Michelle Abate, who's, of course, had a great season last year. She is a local girl down here in Vegas. I say local, but at least a little bit closer to California than a lot of these guys. Drew goes to number 8.
I was talking to Michael Fine, and he's a West Coast guy, and that's what I was, 79 miles an hour on the exit there of turn number 11, so that's pretty good exit speed. But yeah, I was talking to him, and I was saying, you don't want to be the West Coast guy that doesn't show up at the national event, because it makes you elevate your level.
Yeah.
And so you get introduced to new people, and you talk around the paddock, and you pick up different setups and different philosophies. So it's great to see these mixed together, and I think it only really elevates the West Coast group and brings them to another level.
Well, that's exactly what Michelle Abate told me. She came to Coda last year, and she got involved in the national event, did well. She's now got sponsorship from Lucas Oil. So, you do get noticed when you kind of put your head above the pulpit a little bit and don't just race regionally or locally, and you really put yourself out there, and she's done just that.
Fantastic. Yeah, no, we love to see that. She's running 20th right now, which is great, and still keeping a solid run right in there. And you see that once Rafa got around and in second place, he really started to put the targets out. Is closing the gap here on Thomas Merrill as they come through the corkscrew. And I tell you, Mike Skeen has got.
Oh no! Talking of Michelle Abate, I've done it. I've jinxed her.
Yeah. Oh boy. I wouldn't say that. I don't think none of us had the power for that, but I get it. But yeah, that's a darn shame. It looks like they had a little bit of contact there, racing hard. I'd love to see if we could find a replay on that, because I'd like to know.
Adam, give me a systems check here. This usually ends with a safety car at this point. We're not sure yet. We haven't seen any yellows yet. Thomas Merrill leading the race. He's got a good lead. But all of that adrenaline, all that good work and goodwill is going to come to naught if the safety car comes out and they can't remove Michelle out of the way. It seemed like there was 2 cars involved as we go back to Mike Skeen, and he's in a good battle with Connor Mosak.
Absolutely, Connor's hunting. You know, he feels he's faster. He's caught Mike, but then Mike got him in the mirror. Yeah, that's a sketchy spot. You got to check. Yeah, I believe a safety car is probably imminent since we're double yellow. So. Okay, good. But yeah, that was a tricky spot for her to be in. Unfortunately, not able to get the car refired to get it back out there, and that's just a shame. That really ruins your race, and it's a shame for Michelle.
And there is Michelle's team talking to the Trans Am folk about what the procedure is at this point. But like I said, take me through a systems check. Let me put you in, let's say, Thomas's position here. What do you talk to your engineer about now? Because, you know, the whole sort of flavor of the race, you don't want to be talking all the time when you're racing itself, but now we're under yellow. Do you now start to have a check about what the car's feeling, what you're doing? I mean, there's not much you can do, but what do you do?
Yeah, you might have. I mean, depending on what was going on. It looked like the car was looking really, really good. Thomas's car looked really hooked up. So they may be talking about some nitpicky stuff, and there might be a little bit of feedback to give back. Not much adjustment you have in those cars. Brake bias is all you have. So, and a driver's usually pretty of Thomas's caliber would be on top of that brake bias. If he's looking at that, would be a big thing for his balance. But that's the only adjustment you have in a TA2 car as a driver. The TA car, we can adjust our anti-roll bars, the stiffness of those, but that's not necessarily the case there. But yeah, it's right now too. For Thomas, I'm looking at, if I'm in his shoes, I'm feeling really confident. You know, I took this lead from a third place qualifying position that I wasn't happy with. I used that in my gut to drive me to make that move. I'm kind of oozing confidence on my starts and my restarts compared to the way, even the way we've seen from Sebring. Rafa, struggled to really get that car fired off. Really good over the long run, but the first few laps, it just really doesn't come to life for him, where Thomas's car looked like it came to life right away.
So we are slowing down procedures here at our TA2 feature race here from Weathertech Raceway Laguna Seca. It's been a frantic start. Thomas Merrill leads the race, but obviously they're all packing up now. What happened? Michelle Abate going off just past turn 2 and causing a safety car to come out, and 5 laps of the 45 gone, and an hour and 7 minutes still to go. And that gives us a chance to take a break from Laguna. We'll be back with more action from TA2 after this.
One of the focuses of this program is not only building the car, but we're building the entire student.
Making can only happen if you do it on your own. It's all about project-based learning. Take it out, straw it up. How do we build a team?
Winner Circle benefits my students in multiple ways. It starts off with teamwork, and it's not just a standard, here's the facts, spit it back, school. It's a product that you generate that has to be worked on till it's right, not till it's done.
I really see the students engaging in ways that we have not seen before.
The Winner Circle allows us to work more as a team rather than individuals to create something bigger.
When we do like all these tasks and hands-on stuff, I understand it more.
We've been looking a long time at how the middle class has been shrinking and how there's been a problem with people just going to college and not knowing what they want to do. We really want to be able to bring entrepreneurship and trades back into middle America.
This opportunity goes so far beyond the school year. It's about opening the door to a world of possibilities, the world of science, technology, engineering, the arts and math. All of these things are available, and it shows up every single day.
Right now in my life, I don't really have something that I'm focused on to go to, and this project allows me to become like who I want to be when I grow up.
A circle has no beginning and it has no end. It's the ultimate symbol of teamwork. And that's a philosophy that we really want our students to leave and go out into the workforce with. It's not just what can they get for themselves, but what can they give back.
Please visit winnerscircle.org to help support our team and get a Winners Circle project to your school.
Welcome back to Weathertech Raceway Laguna Seca. Beautiful day here in April for round 3 of our TA2 championship. And we're under caution at the moment. As you can see, the safety car, the Honda Civic, out there in front of our local man, Thomas Merrill, who is looking to extend his lead in the championship at the moment. After 2 rounds, he has 59 points. Franklin Futrell, who's not here this weekend, is second, and that gives Rafa Matos and Mike Skeen, who are 3rd and 4th in the championship, an opportunity. And don't count out Keith Prochuk, too. He's in 5th at the moment. Connor Mosak, the youngster, racing that Camaro, is currently in the 28 and in 6th place. And gentlemen, I've got Ben Sissel back with us, as well as Adam Andretti. I've been impressed with Connor so far at the start of this race, but Mike Skeen having a little bit of a tough start to his day.
Yeah, I would say so. Mike Skeen, but he is, like we've talked about, he's a tactician, and he also knows Thomas Merrill. And with Thomas Merrill, somebody that races 100 miles at 10/10, I think Mike Skeen, if he knows he doesn't have the fastest car, he'll sometimes hang back and wait for that chess move. But I do have to mention Michael Self. He's been having a lot of problems, a lot of bad luck this year. But he's from the West Coast. He's raced here quite a bit in all kinds of different series. And then Edward Savajian is not going to be happy dropping back to 6th place.
No, not after the qualifying run and the time that he's had here. You know, he's not going to be happy with that at all. But you know, he was also, you got to look at the quality of drivers that got around him. You know, with Connor Mosak, you know, is a high quality cat out there, going out there and out there to prove himself. And when he's out there, as a talented person as Connor is, when he's out there with these faster guys that are really familiar with Laguna, it's only going to up his game now that they have no choice but to let them chase him. In practice, you'll pull off and not let someone like Connor learn anything from you. In the race, you have no choice but to race and compete with them. So he's going to learn. He's smart. He'll sit back there and learn. So by the end of this 100 miles, I would definitely put him in. And again, you ride off Mike Skeen at your own peril, right? I mean,
yeah.
He is not going anywhere. Yesterday, people wrote him off in qualifying, and look what he did, slap the thing up on the pole. So with the new track record. So yeah, Mike Skeen is you know, on another level, and so he's definitely someone that is not. This race is not over before by a long shot.
What a beautiful field. I do have to mention that there's a little friendly rivalry between Edward Savajian and Scott Lagasse and Scott Borchetta. And Edward told me the first thing he said when he got out of the car at 4th at qualifying, he's like, my Meissen chassis is faster than all the M1 chassis. And I thought, wow, that's pretty telling. And I even asked him, can I say that on the broadcast? He goes, you betcha. So he's out there, and so now that Connor Mosak and that M1 chassis is ahead of him, you know that he's just gunning for him. But also Tyler Casera, you know, Silver Hair Racing this year has just had bad luck. They're always fast cars. Jeff Holley does a great job preparing these cars, and now it looks like 7th and 5th place. They're doing pretty well as well.
Pace car's off, and that means that Thomas Merrill will lead the field into turn 11 and restart this race. We are just 7 laps into the 45. Thomas Merrill leads across the line here at Laguna. Chasing him down, Rafa Matos. And it looks as though Mosak's coming and coming fast. He's side by side almost with Mike Skeen as they dive into turn 1. The Andretti curve, too wide through here. He's getting as much grip as he can, Connor, and he's still in. He's got his foot in. He's been left out to dry on wide, but he might get the inside line, and he does so. Good racing, guys.
Fantastic racing. He's going to have the inside line again going here into turn number 4. Another fast corner here. Boy, wow.
Skeen closes the door there, though.
Not making it easy on him at all. Connor got a great restart. Not as good a restart as Thomas. So Thomas really took off coming out of 11 and got a jump on that green flag on Rafa. He knew who he had behind him for sure.
Well, that's also helped Michael Self and Edward Savajian as they head up towards turn 6 and the Ray Hall straight at the restart. Really important time in a race is a restart, because that's the best opportunity, I suppose. And Adam, give me an idea on strategy. Connor, where are you going? Well, that was a classic mistake at Laguna Seca. I've seen it happen a million times. Outbraked himself, got very lucky there.
He over-Zanardi'd.
Yeah, he
over-Zanardi'd. He over-Zanardi'd that one. Yeah,
very true.
But there he is, side by side with Self. He
recovered well.
That speaks very highly for him. He's only 21 years old, first time here, and he learned what not to do at the Corkscrew. He won't do that again, but great recovery.
I will say this, he's going to have to keep an eye on his gauges, because a lot of times those pebbles, you'll catch a pebble, they'll knock the oil pump belt off, so that hopefully no red lights are coming on for Connor, and he can continue.
Well, Savagian's going to try the same move that Connor Mosak did last time out and go high and wide, round the Andretti curve, and he's going to stick behind Connor and try and chase him through, and both get past Michael Self. Self gets a little wiggle on, and that might be an opportunity again for Mosak up the inside of 3. Does take it.
Connor recovering that spot back that he lost from that mistake up in the Corkscrew. He's getting that by Michael Self. Self just got a little bit loose there.
Yeah, Connor is brave.
He is very brave.
Oh, he is brave. No, there's no question about that. And that's going to take him very far in this sport, because bravery is so important, and then he mixes it with the talent that he has, his learning capabilities. Like you said, he won't do that in the Corkscrew again. Got a little bit impatient, and he's going to calm down. He'll catch him back up, and he'll make it a race again.
Yeah, good recovery, and that was a big moment, because I mean, it's almost off into the abyss there, because once you start flirting with that outside wall at the Corkscrew, all hell can break loose, and you can see how steep it is up there, and he managed to get down the hill, which is a mighty feat in its own self. He did a Casey Stoner. Down right. Alla Rossi down the side there, but got back on track. And we've got a heck of a race on, folks. But really good stuff.
That really opened the gap for these front 3. Thomas Merrill, Rafa Matos, and Mike Skeen look to have about 100, 120 yards between to Connor Mosak now.
Yeah, absolutely. And Connor's now starting to spread that gap from Michael Self, and I'm sure that we're going to start to see him start to close the gap a little bit. You know, he went back to 5.5 seconds back off of Skeen. And Skeen's just sitting there as the as that strategic driver that he is, just letting those 2 in front wear their cars down and set that pace and just keep them within a sniffing range.
Well, Mike Skeen just did his fastest lap of the race so far, a 1:30.8, but Rafa Matos has ellipsed that. His best time a 1:30.1. So Rafa Matos, the man we're on board with right now, is on the pace and hunting down Merrill on home soil. Rafa really needs to win, I feel. This is true, I think, of a lot of Brazilian drivers. They're confidence drivers. When they're winning, they're unstoppable. When they're not winning, they're stoppable. And what I mean by that is they stop themselves.
Of course, no, agree. Yeah, no, we talked. This so much of this game is there's Michelle in the pits there. This could possibly be terminal, after the spin. But yeah, absolutely. They're very emotional. You know, they wear it on their sleeve, and Rafa's no different. He's an amazing driver. No one questions that even a little bit. But yeah, he needs that confidence boost. He needs that upfront win. He lost a close battle in Sebring, and so this right here, what a dive down into 11.
What
beautiful
a dive.
Pass.
That was sensational stuff. He came from so far behind.
He came from a mile behind it.
Yeah, I don't think that Merrill was expecting that. He knew he was going to get a challenge, but not there and then.
And usually it costs your speed so much down the straightaway, then you see how Merrill went to one attack right away. But not really. Rafa was able to keep his apex speed up, and that was incredible. What a pass.
So Rafa Matos, who almost took pole position, is now in pole position, leading this race here with 57 minutes to go.
He heard us talking about his confidence.
I guess that's it.
I'll shut those 2 up right now.
He will. And Mike Skeen's got to be thinking to himself, right, how do I react now? Because he's still solidly in 3rd place.
Yeah, it looks like Thomas's car really fires off. I said it before, really fires off on a restart. And then, Matos's, that 88 car, that Ford Mustang of his, it takes about 3 laps to come to life, 3-4 laps to come to life. And boy, howdy he has it. I mean, he is gone, and he is going to look to check out on this. Mike Skeen is looking like if this is looking like Rafa's going to take off too much and Skeen feels like he has the car, look for him to make a move.
Yeah, good point. Here's that overtake again. Unbelievable. Really good. He came from a long way back at turn 11, made it stick, and that was beautifully done. and really looking forward to this. If we get another caution, Connor Mosak could come back into play because he's about a second and a half as the number 9 of Keith Project comes into the pits. That wasn't due to be happening, so problems there for him. But it's Matos, Merrill, and Ski.
And by Connor losing that lead group, you remember I talked about learning from that lead group, and now his lap times have fallen because he doesn't have that rabbit to chase. So we made, like you said, he needs that caution to really kind of close that gap to bring him back into this race. He's definitely quicker than Michael Self behind him, so he doesn't have any threat from behind, but he just doesn't have that edge that he had before he made that mistake.
And this race could come down to effectively back markers, because I think by the time we get down to the business end of this race, they're going to be catching up with the slower cars. And given that Laguna's not an easy place in the first place to pass, we may get some interesting shenanigans towards the end as we take a look at the number 3.
Adrian Lostofsky. I spoke to him. He's got a new crew all the way from New York, and it's his first time at WeatherTech Raceway Laguna Seca as Mike Skeen is starting to kind of look at Thomas Merrill.
Yeah, we have a local caution here in turn 1. I saw someone smoking as I come by. I didn't catch who it was, but it looks like we got a local caution here, so something to keep an eye on, too.
Well, I hope he's got an ashtray if he's smoking.
But yeah, absolutely, Skeen is on the charge. Merrill's mirrors are full, and this is going to end up being a good race. Look for Skeen to make move into 11 on Merrill. It seems
that's a good point.
Yeah, it seems like Thomas is not getting through turn 10 quite like he would like to, and that's given the competitors behind him a run.
Yeah, looking high above the rainy curve, and then turn 10. You can see the undulations of this track and how it dives downhill all the way down. Oh no!
Doug Peterson.
Doug Peterson, teammate, of course, to Rafa Matos and the team owner, and that's been a big smash. You said smoke, and that was obviously happened at turn 1, but he's trying to crawl round. Let's hope he's not dropping any debris or fluid. I don't think he is at this point, but that's not a good scene.
No, I heard from race control that happened with Doug Peterson and Tom Sheehan got together in the front straight, right in front of our man Aaron Colwell.
I think they have magnets, on their cars. It was, I think Tom Sheehan told me at Road Atlanta, I don't want anyone to think I don't like Doug. I love Doug, but our cars just come together. And that's a shame to hear that might have happened. Michael Fine, I was just talking about him a little bit earlier, West Coast guy. Looks like he's having a mechanical issue. This is an old Cameron Lawrence car. I said I really recognize that front bumper.
Yeah, you would.
I felt it on my back bumper a few times.
You're listening to Adam Andretti and Ben Sissel here with me in the commentary, Jonathan Green, as we look high above this fantastic circuit here. Beautiful day in April. Round 3 of the series, TA2 in full flow. 13 laps gone, but now some real damage being taken. Doug Peterson has just gone out. Michel Albarte is out. So is Fine. Michael Fine is out of this race. We're looking at Michael Self at the top of the corkscrew. Oh, that is big damage.
Full course caution. We have our full course caution out, I believe, for Michael Fine's car that's dead on track out there. Yeah. So if they can get Doug's car drivable again, at least they can get him out there for points. It's important when you have this many.
Now this is going to help Connor Mosak as somebody else goes off.
This is huge for Connor Mosak.
Oh, that's Michelle Nagai. Michelle Nagai was with us on the West Coast Series last year in a TA car. She was with us last weekend at Sonoma, and here she is in a TA2 car. So she just wanted more people to race with, so she switched to TA2. So we welcome Michelle Nagai.
Oh, right on. Well, that's cool. She did a heck of a nice dirt track move there getting out of that stuff.
That's good.
Hey, listen, while we're under caution, Ben, you were at Sonoma last week. Tell us what happened. Chris Dyson and Hamid Al-Masoud winning in the TA. But TA2, Connor Mosak and his teammate were on great form. First time out.
It was a crazy show. Like, you couldn't have scripted it better for TV. I was doing the grid walk. Everything was fine. As soon as they released the cars, it started raining. And then by the time I got up to my camera position, it stopped raining. So it's just enough to bring the oil out. They're all on slicks. Chris Dyson came in to get reins. They started the race, and Connor Mosak and Sam Mayer just took off, actually passing Simon Gregg. I was watching his in-car, and it seemed like his ABS actually slowed him down, and the other guys just somehow powered through on slicks. And then Simon Gregg led the race for a long time, and Chris Dyson had to basically come through the field, then change back to slicks and come through the field again to win. It was a crazy show. And we had a great showing. Carl Rydquist, the number 47, who was our SGT champion on the West Coast last year, got third place. It was a lot of fun to watch. But one person, I've never seen this side of Sam Mayer, but I think he is maybe the most, or close to the most talented person in the TA2 field right now. He's 7th, but watching him, he's just comfortably staying behind Edward Savajian. I think maybe he's going to let this race come to him this time. Usually he attacks, but he didn't have a great starting position, and I think we're going to see something from Sam Mayer later on in the race.
This track is a tough track to pass on, so when you're buried in the field like that, it can be a bit of a challenge. Oh, Doug there, looking awfully disappointed. Hate for his day to end like that. Just such a shame. He's such a fierce competitor, fun guy to be around. Yeah. So jovial. I mean, if you're having a bad day, go see Doug Peterson, because that'll end that. But yeah, Sam Mayer is an incredible talent. I think Laguna is one of those places that laps here matter big time. Yeah. And you really have to. There's so many places here that you can find little tidbits of time. Knowing the track well, and given the fact that he doesn't know this track all that well, it's amazing that he's doing what he's doing against the competitors that have all the laps here. So it does really speak to his talent, but his positioning right now is not normal Sam Mayer.
Well, let's take a look at some action from previously at the Corkscrew, because we're under caution here. Connor Mosak has been making some very interesting moves, and a chance to see him. And there.
Oh, there was the spin.
That was Nagai, excuse me. Yeah, that was
great dirt tracking though. Wow, fantastic. Should get a sprint car.
Well, let's go through the field. So in first place right now, we're under yellow is Rafa Matos, followed by Thomas Merrill, Mike Skeen in third, Connor Mosak fourth, and Michael Self fifth. And if you look at that, that's kind of all of our big top teams. You've got Team SLR, you've got Doug Peterson at Three Dimensional Services Group, Thomas Merrill with Mike Cope, Mike Skeen with Stevens Miller, Liqua Molly. Connor, like we talked about, Connor Mosak, Team SLR. Then we've got Edward Savajian at 6th, Sam Mayer, Tyler Casera, Carl Rydquist, Scott Borchetta, Jim Gallagher 11th. He was our TA2 champion on the West Coast last year, followed by the 2019 TA2 champion West Coast, Brad McAllister. Brand new to the series, just started in TA2, but really fast. He's that orange stripe car, the white with the orange stripes. Jeff Holden, I've been very impressed with him the last 2 weeks. He's really fast. He's in 13th place. Ty Young, Nick Racino in 15th place. Greg Tolson, Cameron Parsons, Tom Clower, Drew Neubauer, Tim Lynn is 20th. Stephen Lustig from New Jersey is 21st. Michelle Nagai, 22nd. Ken Twaits, we know him from the XGT and TA. This is his first time in TA2. He's in 23rd. Dave Kanicki, 24th. Mitch Marvash, Robert Acado Jr., Doug Peterson is now 27th, followed by Tom Sheehan. I think they had contact. Yeah. Adrian Lostofsky sadly had to come into the pits. I'm not sure what happened there. Michael Fine, Keith Prochuk, Barry Bowes, and then Michelle Abadi. Yeah, hopefully they've got Michelle going again.
I just saw Keith Prochuk leave the pit area, so I don't know what kind of issue he had either, but he was having a really good run. It's unfortunate to see him, in the HP Tuners car, have his struggles there, so I hate to see that for them.
Adam, let me ask you about Ken Thwaites, because he has, he's a champion in his own right in XGT, but that's a production-based car. He's now done TA, and now he's doing TA2. How hard is all of that transition?
I love the fact that he's that into Trans Am racing, right? He's been a wonderful addition to the paddock. I've known Ken Thwaites for quite a few years. I've worked for his company, Performance Dynamics International, PDI. And so he's a wonderful man to be around, and I know he's doing this TA2 race because he hadn't been here to Laguna since 1986. Oh wow! And quite a bit had changed, obviously. So he wanted to get as much time around here as possible, and I was trying to definitely talk him out of running this 100 miles. I was telling him he's going to be tired for tomorrow, but he was having none of it. So, I'm really, really happy for him.
How can he sit it out?
I had a few people in mind that could get in the car.
Could wheel it for him, pedal it for
him. I know my trunk.
Now, what's happened here?
Oh, the 18 car.
Robert Acado Jr. He had some problems in the first practice up just past the Corkscrew, and it looks like he went off. I don't know about cold tires, but speaking of Ken Thwaites also, that he wants to run the Music City Grand Prix, and that's a TA2 race with Indy cars in August. Right. So he's just trying to get behind the wheels. Yeah. We both live in Nashville. That would be probably 15-20 minutes from his home. He wants to have a good home showing. And Justin Marks and Scott Borchetta, who are with us this weekend in Trans Am. Scott in this race right there. Some of the owners of the race, the Music City Grand Prix.
Marks,
so are we going to see Adam Andretti in a car at the Music City Grand Prix?
Of course you are.
I got to say I'm working on it. You know, I love the street races. I love, obviously, TA2 racing, so definitely working on it. And,
You've done really well in Detroit in the past.
Yeah.
So why not?
Why not? You know, and I would love to be a part of that weekend. It's going to be a big weekend. Looks like
Michael Fine.
No, it's Michael Fine still trying to.
Well, he's parked at the top of the Corkscrew.
A lot of times, so I've seen safety. They'll release them like a soapbox derby up there and tell them to coast in.
Yeah,
so maybe he's going to soapbox derby.
There is a runoff just before or just after Rainy.
They've cut tow ropes. You know, splitters will cut the tow rope on the bottom of the corkscrew. It'll pinch it and it'll cut it off. So or it'll rip splitters. So they're doing that. Just they're very well experienced here. The safety crews here are top notch. This is a wonderful venue to come to because it's a year-round venue. They always have something going on here all year round, and so they're well seasoned here, so to speak.
And you know, these drone shots that we're getting, I know we're somewhat near Hollywood, but that's not green screen. That is how pretty this place is. The surroundings of this place is unbelievable. We're on the Monterey Peninsula, up in the hills, and it is beautiful here. I've never been here this early in the year with everything so green, but you can see those fabulous shots we're getting right there from up in the air, and it's unbelievable real estate out here.
You're literally in a state park.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I played a little golf at Pebble Beach with Adam earlier in the week, and, you know, I was about 4 shots ahead of him, but we had some fun.
That's not saying much for my golf game, buddy. But to be 4 shots up on me, you didn't go very far.
Yeah.
40, you've been looking good.
I've never seen anybody play with a baseball bat.
Yeah, right. Yeah, no, that's the only way I know how. You know, caveman style.
That's it.
But yeah, everyone's keeping some heat in their car right now and making sure that they're staying nice and warm out there. The track conditions are really good. You know, when this plate doesn't have a lot of grip to begin with, so when the sun beats down on it, it really just rips more of the grip away from it. So with no sun on the track, this is probably some of the most grip any of these cats have experienced here.
Here's a question for you. We've been talking, you know, we've been waxing rhapsodic about the history of Trans Am and its 55-year storied history. I wonder if someone like Roger Penske tuned in now would believe, given that he was involved in, you know, in the early days of preparing cars for Trans Am. We're going to see the HTA cars out, the historic Trans Am out. But it's just, it's almost as though this has got bigger and better as the years have gone on, not less. And it's. I mean, I would have thought if Mark Donohue would have tuned in and seen this, my word, I can't believe what it's become.
Oh, absolutely. I don't think anytime you're in the moment, I don't think any of those that are living the moment realize what something is going to become. You know, they certainly don't have those kind of egos for that. So, yeah, this is it's you know, here we are 50 plus years later and still going very strong. What an amazing car count this weekend. I mean, 33.
Connor Mosack in the pits.
Oh, no way. Oh, wow.
Scott must have called him in.
Yeah.
So he's going to try to get out and just catch to the back of the pack there. And I do have to give it up for my buddy now, Scott Borchetta. That should put him in the top 10 at number 9. He started 16th, but he told me in the pits that he's going to find some speed. And then looks like there's some damage to Adrian Lostofsky's front splitter there.
Adam, what do you think? You called this earlier. You said he could have some pebbles in there. Why do you think they brought him in? Because he was in a chance for a podium here.
He might have a puncture too.
Good point.
The gravel, he might have gone through a puncture. They might have got a rock up in the brake.
Well, they're just changing that one tire, so maybe you're right.
The right side tires are what they're changing right now. So he might have been feeling a vibration, is what my guess would be, or the car's handling went away so bad that he feel like he had a tire going down. Now, if he was able to still turn off like he was the 131s that he was cutting off with the tire going down, kudos. But I think there might be something else causing a vibration. But you're going to find out when he goes green here if he still has that vibration now that he's lost all this time. They won't take any chances. They'll just pull that in and park it.
And now Nick Taylor, his sponsor right there, that is the most comfortable men's underwear. But I wonder if Connor Mosack going through the corkscrew might have filled that underwear with something. That was a pretty scary moment.
As research goes, Ben, you are immaculate. I don't know how you do it.
It's brilliant. No, way to plug that in. Way to plug the sponsor and you know, give us a good laugh there, Ben, for sure. Because yeah, that's a scary moment up there when
that was almost a Zanardi, like you said. Yeah,
he over Zanardi'd.
Yeah,
he over Zanardi'd, and but that's okay. I mean, if that's the worst of your mistakes that you're going to have here, so be it. And you know, that's the thing about the corkscrew. There's not another corner in a racetrack anywhere that you can compare it to. So it's not like you can say, oh, you know how you approach this at a different. No, there's nothing like it. and you can't compare anything else to the Corkscrew. You can't say, oh yeah, you
Pace
approach
car.
this like the Corkscrew.
Pace car's coming in.
Oh,
No more
fantastic.
scrubbing.
Here we go. Let's go green. And I don't think Connor's even out of the pit.
I can hear him rolling out now. He's just going to get out in time.
Boy, that's going to...
But he's going to be at the back. So we are racing again as we come out of 11. It's the restart. Rafa Matos, Merrill, Skeen, Self.
Now again, remember what I was saying, how well Merrill's car takes off in the first couple laps of a restart as opposed to the 88.
Yeah.
Ooh, Mosak's not going to make it.
Oh, and up Edwards of Agent up the inside. Very, very tight indeed.
Wow. What a pass.
Look at that. Three-way wide with Michael Self and slotting back.
Pass isn't over. Self is coming right back. Fighting right back
nice
to that
move.
position. Really nicely done.
Mosak's got to be right in front of him. There he is. There's Mosak right in front of the group.
So then, a really interesting restart to that, including Sam Mayer right in the thick of it. And now he's side by side with Michael Self as they go into the left-hander, and he makes that place up on Edwards of Agent. They're side by side as they start to head up the hill.
And there's teammates, Tyler Casera, Michael Self.
Yep.
And you know Connor's going to fight for his life up there to stay on that lead lap. I mean, that's really what he's going to do. He's young and he's a Charger.
Oh, Sam Mayer off.
That's a scary ball. That's a spot that, yep. Turn 6 there is not a place you want to go off very fast. The world drops off there, so really good job of keeping it out of the wall.
But Rafa Matos is all over the back of Connor Mosak.
Yeah, that could really affect the race. Well, that could be the big switch up front with Thomas. What he's looking for is to be able to attack back on.
And he's got right there underneath, and you can see this is really a nervous time for Matos. He doesn't need this right now because he's got a car in front of him that he's not racing.
Yeah. And that's not your usual lap traffic because Connor was pulling basically the same times as the lead group when he was in 4th. So he's going to be tough to get around.
Yeah,
and he just wants to stay on the same lap.
Yeah, you're exactly right. And you know, this is a handling track, and any little air disturbance too is gonna not let Rafa's car handle quite as well as it does in clean air. So Rafa's definitely sitting back there and boiling a little bit. I'm sure that he's got to face that challenge.
Well, Tyler Casera and Carl Rydquist have now come into the game, as it were, at the front. 6th and 7th they are. Scott Borchetta is definitely in the top 10. He's up to 8th. Jim Gallagher is in 9th position, and Sam Mayer currently in 10th after that slight off.
What does Tyler Casera know that we don't know? He's got a windshield wiper on his car.
He saw the dark clouds.
Yeah, that was a good save by Sam Mayer.
I tell you what, he could have easily ended up in the tires there.
Yeah.
Oh man, I tell you.
I think anybody else would have.
Yeah, there's not too many times that you would have kept that out of the barrier. He did a heck of a job. Another dirt tracker in our midst here. Coming down the Corkscrew there, really nice line by all those. Beautiful shot by our camera crew.
Yeah, Bob Marley, our cameraman Bob Marley up there.
Hey Bob, doing a fantastic job down into Wayne Rainey. They're coming down here into turn 10. Very good corner here. Here's where you can really separate and get that run down into 11. Now all these cars seem to get through there equally.
Oh, Matos again!
Rafa comes from way back there all the time. He's so confident there under the brakes, does a fantastic job, cuts the apex tight, but is able to keep his speed up.
Merrill's gone with him, and that's important because Merrill needed to make sure that he got past as well so that he can continue to pursue Rafa Matos. They're 1st and 2nd now. Skeen's got work to do. He'll try up the inside.
I think at this point now that Connor is actually lapped down, and the racer in him is going to be pretty lenient to the rest behind.
Yeah.
Not to mess up anyone else's race. Since his race is over, no sense in everyone else's being over.
Yeah, good point. So the top 3 are cleanly through, and it looks like Edwards of Agent in 4th position now, trying to get past Connor Mosak as well. But it's Rafa Matos in the 88 three-dimensional services car that leads this race from Thomas Merrill, winner here in 2019.
Edwards of Agent, man, I tell you, that little reset he got, that last yellow, has brought him back to life. You know, he's back up in P4. He's looking very, very strong where he's at. And then when these top 3 start to mix it up, he's going to have the best seat in the house, and that's only going to bring him closer to that race.
Wonderful drone shots looking up turn 6 towards the Corkscrew. An amazing way of looking at this racetrack that I've never seen before. Really, really exciting to see. And the big machine vodka car of Edwards of Agent doing the business at the moment. And so too Scott Borchetta in the 48 version of the same car. And both of them in the top 10 at the moment.
Yeah, Borchetta's all the way up to P7. Definitely the race of his TA2 career. Just sitting there right behind Tyler Casera, just a 1.5 second gap. So he is right there in attack mode as well.
So we're getting to car number 18 coming back out of the pits. We saw him go off earlier. And there is Scott Borchetta in that spike. You love these colors, don't you, Ben?
I do. I really do. He really stands out as a videographer, photographer. And I've been so impressed with Scott Borchetta. He was with us last weekend at Sonoma, really just to have fun. And he did really well there, and now he's doing great at Laguna Seca. He is a West Coaster. He grew up in California and moved to Nashville several years ago, so he's happy to be back in his home state having a good showing.
Yep.
Yeah, he's done a fantastic job. His growth as a driver, it shows how much he really cares about doing well in this paddock. It means a lot to him, and I make no bones about it. I think the TA2 grid, the depth of it, I think IndyCar Racing is the only one out there that has a tougher grid to go out there and face. TA2 has got such depth to it, and the teams do such a good job of bringing it every week that, and you watch the on-track product is really so similar how good the racing is.
Well, it's a testament to the youngsters like Connor Mosack and Sam Mayer that they want to race in this because they are definitely destined to bigger and better, as it were, when it comes to NASCAR. And this, like I said, is a great place to learn their craft.
Of course, and I think, you're going to see 5-10 years even down the road, Connor and Sam will come back to anyone that is in Trans Am and tell them that, these are the toughest years of their racing career, was being out here in this grid, because it's a tough paddock to win races in.
So Sam Mayer right behind Scott Borchetta. They've been working together with Scott Lagasse and Scott Lagasse Jr. Racing. And so right now I feel like Sam Mayer's just kind of hanging back, probably watching his gauges as he ducks inside Borchetta. Now Borchetta might follow him around, locks up that front left.
Got in a little bit deep, and Borchetta's going to re-attack right here. It's something you got to watch on there, the Andretti hairpin. It'll suck you in.
Yeah.
It goes off camber.
It's a tougher corner than it looks,
actually. Absolutely.
So we're getting to the halfway point of this race, and it's been very dramatic so far. And again, just coming out of the pits a moment ago, and he's back off again, the 18. So whatever the problem was, it's found itself again, and unfortunately...
That should be just a local yellow. They're going to be able to pull him in. There's an exit gate right there, so he should be good. The great thing about WeatherTech Raceway Laguna Seca is there's a lot of places to pull your car off, and hopefully we don't have to go full course yellow there.
It looks like they got a gap there, and the truck was already retrieving it, so local yellow should be enough, Ben. I would agree for sure. Great eye on that.
And here,
Michelle Nagai.
Oh, wow.
Again, showing the dirt tracking skills.
Well, yeah, like you said.
Yeah, sprint car in her future. I can see it. I called it. Called it right here.
You did. So I think we're going to have a local caution, but nothing more than that. We won't have a safety car out again, because here comes the leaders. Matos, Merrill, and Skeen now starting to make some inroads now as they pull away from the fourth place man, Savajian.
Yeah, and Connor Mosack is just kind of in there between them, not giving up his lap down plus fourth place. And so Edward Savajian's got to be getting pretty frustrated, wondering when Connor's going to let him by, because that gap is just opening up and getting bigger as we look at Jim Gallagher, last year's TA2 champion on the West Coast.
Ooh, you make a mistake going in there, and he's lost it wide.
Ooh. And you know that number 24 car, that's Dylan McIvern's old car that Brad McAllister's driving right there.
Yeah, absolutely. Now, we went door to door a lot, Dylan and I. We had some awesome battles, and what a great driver he is, and miss him around the paddock as well. He was a wonderful face to see. Him and his dad every weekend, week out was always something I cherished, from those race weekends. So, love to ever see them come back to the paddock anytime. They're always welcome.
Oh, it's great.
Always exciting and fantastic young talent.
Yeah. So in 9th, 10th, and 11th place is our first, second, and third in the West Coast Championship. Carl Rydquist in first, Jim Gallagher in 10th and second, and Brad McAllister in 11th and third. So that could be our podium for the West Coast Championship, and they're showing us some real talent out there.
Absolutely. Great racing.
Just half an hour to go now, 32 minutes to be exact, as we're on board with the Ford Mustang of Drew Neubauer under the bridge, and up the hill he goes towards the Ray Hall Straight.
That's my favorite livery in TA2 right now, that rat fink looking side of the Berryman.
The Berryman, yeah, it's good.
I love it.
I like what Matos has done on the top there. I was talking to him about it, and he's put the American flag on the top there, just as Michelle did last year, Michelle Abate. And so that looks really good from above. He knows the drone's up there.
Yeah, new U.S. citizen, so he's proud of it.
He's playing it well.
Nick Racino's got a flag on top. I like this. Well, it is Trans Am, And the AM is America, so I like that.
Yeah, I could tell you my dad, you know, he was not a natural-born citizen, born in Italy, obviously, and he always said the proudest moment of his life was certainly becoming an American citizen. So congratulations to Rafa on that, and showing that proudly on the rooftop of his car, as he should. It's a great, great, wonderful country.
So now that we're kind of spread out, we're in lap 25 of 45. We got more than 30 minutes to go. Do you relax in a TA2 race, or are you just trying to now feel the car and see what's going on?
Yeah, you know, there's no time for relaxing in these TA2 races. It's 100 miles, it's a sprint race, so every lap is a qualifying lap. Pirelli builds a really good durable tire, so you don't worry about over-abusing the tire. You know, what you do worry about is over-abusing the other usables like your brakes and things like that, especially a place here like Laguna, which can historically be tough on the brakes. So you do settle into a certain extent, but it's more of a rhythm thing. You don't really give up or relax. It's really just finding that rhythm and your flow, if you will, and this place is great for that, you know.
And do the cautions help or hurt you? Because I've heard from some drivers that sometimes driving a heavy car under caution can be more physical than anything else.
Oh yeah, no, and it gets hot, right? These cars are hot already, and then when you take all that air from moving around inside, it just makes it's like you're sitting in an oven.
Look for Sam Mayer to duck inside or outside of Michael Self here at the Andretti turn. And that's Edward Savagen there, currently running 4th place. There he is, Sam Mayer around Michael Self. I saw him coming down the straight a little bit faster. Good pass.
Sam's on a mission. His lap times are right there with what Mike Skeen is running, so he could, you know, if he was up there, it would. So, you know, any other full course caution could really switch up this race quite some way.
And that's all Connor Mosack is hoping for. He's like, get me back on the lead lap, give me full course caution. So we'll see what happens.
Yeah, absolutely. No, he would love for that. You know, at this point, probably not enough time left in the race to even climb back through this field to get back up, but he would definitely salvage a better position than where he's at, being a lap down. But he is the first car 1 lap down, so there is that. And as you said, we get deeper into this race, lap traffic is going to play a role.
Play a part in it.
Look at Scott Borchetta coming around the hairpins. Great shots.
Yeah, the crew just here. You guys all do a fantastic job bringing this Trans Am racing to the fans and to the homes, and you know, it's such a blessing to have this live streaming. And
Michelle Abate, and she's parked up in the pit lane. Actually.
Looks like maybe her left front tire might be down.
Yeah, she could have a down tire, or it might just be the way that it's settled into the pavement there. But yeah, it looks like either down tire or broken front suspension parts she could have from that contact earlier.
Not been a good day at the office for Michelle. She loves coming here to Laguna, but that's not how she planned her day at all.
Absolutely not. No, you're always gutted for that. As you know, a fellow racer, you don't ever want to see anybody having those struggles, because you know how it feels. If you haven't been there, you haven't been racing long enough.
So the field's starting to spread out. Matos in control of this car, of his car, and in control of this race. He's 1.5 seconds ahead of Thomas Merrill, who was definitely one of the favorites here this weekend. Mike Skeen chasing a win in 3rd at the moment, and Edward Savagen going well in 4th place. Sam Mayer is the man on the hunt at the moment, putting in some very good lap times and getting past Michael Self in the last lap. Casera's still there in 7th, Borchetta in 8th now.
The top 3 right now, they've displayed all weekend long. Wouldn't you agree, Ben, that they've been kind of on another planet with themselves? Yep. So this is kind of how we saw some of this playing out. We were definitely thinking there was those intangibles with Connor and Sam and Edward that might be able to sneak in there, being in that same group. But these 3 have really kind of checked out, shown that they're the class of the field out here today, and it's looking good. And I tell you, who's bringing themselves back into this is kind of reeling them back in is Connor.
Yeah. He's not that far behind, is he?
He's not in the race, but you know, if he's feeling froggy enough, you'll see him. He won't sit back on anyone, I don't think.
I've never seen this out of Thomas Merrill, but you know, he may be protecting the championship also, because he's in the lead, and he seems to be kind of letting the race come to him a little bit. But it looks like we're going double yellow.
We have a double yellow, yeah. Yeah, you know, Thomas, he's found himself in a position. I don't think he's found himself in his Trans Am career yet, and that's points racing. And you know, if you need to salvage, if your bad day is a 2nd or 3rd or even a 5th, you know, that's what you need to do. You need to salvage those days. he's not feeling like he's having his best day here today, you know, still podium in here today would be a huge thing for him. You know, he's such a great talent. You just hope that, you know, this is the place he expected to really dominate, and don't let that affect him. Just, you know, roll over to the next event and keep up doing what you're doing.
Down the corkscrew once again, Rafa Matos, Merrill in pursuit, and then Skeen. The car next is a lap down, but there's Savajian in fourth, and here's the man we're keeping an eye on in that number 8 of Sam Mayer.
This full course caution came perfect for Sam.
Yeah,
you know, he got 17 laps left here. He's got some time. He's got some time, and he was looking really good. Like I said, his lap times are right there with Skeen's. You put someone, like I said, with his talent right up on his rear bumper. He's got to get around Edward Savajian yet, and I believe they will give Connor a wave around, right, Ben?
They should, yeah. He should be out of there. I hope they do it soon.
So we await for the restart of this one as we take a closer look now at that number 8, who's been definitely making some good stories.
Yeah, Sam's always one for, you know, for giving us some excitement, giving us something to draw, you know, something to talk about, and like you said, for many years to come, we're going to be seeing him, you know, in big, better things. He's got Edward Savajian that he's going to have to get around. He'll have to deal with Edward. Edward's been no slouch.
And that's
Tom Sheehan.
Tom Sheehan just coming out of the pits in the 97, the all-yellow car. Can never miss that.
I was just making sure no one from Doug Peterson's crew was going to throw a water bottle. No, I'm just teasing. No, they did. It's a heck of a race. A lot of attrition here. What to be expected at Laguna is that, you know, it's common when you have this many cars to have a couple of full course cautions like we've had. So not a surprise whatsoever, and it's definitely going to give us some good.
You know, I said at the beginning of this broadcast, Adam, that this was an important race for both Skeen and Rafa Matos, and it's going to be proving that way. Matos started the day 10 points behind Thomas Merrill. He's going to beat him on the road, but only just. But that will narrow the gap between the pair of them. Futrell is not a factor, given that he's not here this weekend, and he will lose that second place, and Matos will move up to second. Absolutely,
and Matos gained an extra point by being one qualifying position ahead of him on that, and Skeen gained 2 points on him by doing that. So there is that little bit of a swing too. So I know Mike Skeen's definitely looking to get around Thomas to try and really put a dent in that.
So we are under caution again. Our third caution of the day. Adam Andretti, Ben Sissel, Jonathan Green. We're sending Ben now to go and get the interviews for the end of the race because it's coming up quickly. I think this is going to be a timed race. We're not going to get the full 45 in with just 23 minutes to go. But it's Matos, Merrill, Skeen, Savajian of Texas, and Sam Mayer, the young gun, in 5th place. Then in 6th is Michael Self. Further down, Gallagher, Holden, Rossino, West Coast specialist, and you can see the W means the West Coast Championship. Parsons is up there in 16th position. We've been on board with Neubauer, Drew Neubauer in in 18th position, and Nagai, as you know, has had her problems, as has Michelle Abate, who it looks as though has now retired from this race.
Yeah, a lot of retirements here. You know, there's been, like I said, some decent attrition. So a lot of drivers taking advantage of that. Ken Twaits is into the top 20. He's 19th, and he keeps on getting a little bit quicker and quicker. And right now, he's right there with the same lap times of those that are around him. So there's a few positions that could be gained there. So there's a really good race there from like 16th through 20th as well. And so there's going to be a lot of good racing coming on this restart all the way through the pack there, Jonathan.
Yeah, there's another trick of the tail potentially in this race. We might have a surprise before too long, because you know that Matos is a good restarter, and there's no question that his overtake into the lead was without doubt one of the best moves of the day. Thomas Merrill is a mean terrier when it comes to a fight for the win. Tyres are going off. Can you describe just how the car feels now compared to when you started? Because fuel load's down, tyres are starting to go off, it's hot as you mentioned. How does that affect the feel of the car?
You know, depending on what you know, how you were set up over the long haul. But really, honestly, for me, as the fuel burns off, the cars always start to feel a little bit better. They will start to get a little bit more slidey around. We have sun on the track now, so now the grip level has definitely changed. So you may see the way some of these cars handle differently. I'm again anxious to see. Like I've seen it every restart. Rafa's car just does not get up and go as quick as Thomas's does, but Rafa's car over the longer run, it gets up and go and makes it happen. So still another lap under caution. Looks like we're going to have here.
And if you're Merrill, do you go for it at that Andretti curve at the restart, or do you bide your time for a bit?
Well, you got to go when the opportunity's there. If the opportunity presents itself at the Andretti hairpin down there into turn 2, absolutely, you got to go for the attack. But yeah, wherever the opportunity presents itself. Right now, that's probably, if I was Thomas, that's where my head would be at. That's where I'm guessing his head is at. Is he's looking for that opportunity, and then when he sees that opportunity, he will pounce, and he'll pounce like a tiger.
Well, you just saw a quick glimpse of our man Ben Sissel down there in the pit lane, and while we're still under caution, let's head down to Ben and find out what's going on in the pit lane. Down to you, Ben.
We are down at the pit lanes. First, I want to talk to Jeff Holley, Silver Hair Racing. He's the crew chief of Michael Self and Tyler Casera. You guys have had kind of rough luck to the start of the season, but things seem to be going pretty well for you.
Yeah, we had a little bad luck to begin with the first 2 races. The main plan this weekend was to first finish and make gains on it every practice session, and we feel like we got some decent hot rods, so it's been a good weekend.
How do your guys sound on the radio? Are they relaxed, or are you having to talk them and coach them through some things?
They're dialed in pretty good right now. They're a little free, but I think everybody is, so it's going to be who can hold it on the track and finish.
Nice. Jeff Holley, Silver Hair Racing. Maurice Hall, we miss you out here, buddy. But Silver Hair Racing is doing pretty good. Back to you, Jonathan and Adam.
Great stuff, Ben. Thank you. Yes, it's great to be able to have that utility where we can send him down there and get some stories for us, because it just adds to the, to hear what the drivers are saying, whether they're relaxed, whether they're not. It's always good to get the insight from you, but to hear it from the engineer and what they're actually saying on the radio to each other and how they're feeling, and I think he summed it up nicely there. It's all systems go for that team there at the moment.
Yeah, Ben Sizzle, the hardest working man on the weekend out here.
I'm sure he's got a doppelganger or a twin brother somewhere.
You could see him absolutely anywhere at any time, and he's always got a smile on his face hidden behind that mask of his. So, but yeah, absolutely, it backs up exactly what I was assuming was going on out there. Not a lot of grip. That's why everyone is free.
I just heard that Ben, I think, just listened to you, because he's now rushed over and got Scott Lagacy. So let's go back down to Ben Sissel. Ben, what's going on?
All right, here I am now with team principal of Team SLR, Scott Lagacy Jr. You've got Connor Mosack, Sam Mayer, and also Scott Borchetta. How you feeling about this race so far?
We've had a tough start to this thing. Connor had to lock his tires down to keep from getting into another car, and we had a pit, so he's now a lap down but fast. Sam got shuffled and is on his way back to the front. I'm just afraid we just heard it's going to be a time limit race. That may hurt our chances there. And then Scott, got mired way back there and is hauling ass right now and heading to the front. So this is, I'm proud of what our guys are doing right now. Just a little wishing we had a little smoother start to it,
So, do you wish you were out there right now racing, or are you having fun just coaching your guys?
I do wish I was out there. That's always where you want to be. But I say that I've found a new joy and a new passion here, and it's fun when you're working with 3 or 4 guys like that are good. We've got Jeff Holden here as his West Coast guy that's first race here. He's flying too, I think in the top 10 now. So it's fun for me. I'm finding a new enjoyment and pulling the reins back really on these guys. They're all good and they all work hard. So we just have to not make mistakes.
Nice. I love it. Scott Lagacy Jr. out there. Jonathan, Adam, back to you, buddies.
Perfect timing, Ben. Great insight, as always. And Scott Lagacy's got some juggling with those 2 young bucks on his hands, but he's the perfect guy.
Yeah.
He's been there, done that, got the T-shirt, and they will listen to him.
Oh, absolutely. No, I'm so glad to hear that he found that passion in that, because he's very good at it. He's very good at coaching these young kids, and he's not only coached them on track, he's coached them off track. Some of the behavioral things that you need to have, and the way that politics run. But the pace car's off. Here we go.
Yep, pace car comes in, and we are going to go racing again. We've got 16 minutes and 45 seconds as Rafa Matos leads them away. Thomas Merrill desperate to win at home and could be having an opportunity here at the first corner of the Andretti curve, but he's not close enough. He's going to try high and wide. Rafa defends and literally blocks him from making any progress, and Rafa holds the lead through that first turn, and that's a good restart by the Brazilian come American.
Yeah, he got a little bit of wheel spin. Rafa did on the coming out of 11 to get the green, and that gave just that bit of a run to Thomas Merrill. And that's why that almost happened there. But now that Rafa's got a couple corners, some heat in the tires, he's picking up right where he left off before this caution. Yeah, talking of runs, it looks like Sam Mayer is trying to make a go at getting past Edward Savagian. There he is in the white and black behind the bid machine vodka number 38. Savagian defends as they go back up the hill now, under racing conditions and down towards or up towards the Ray Hall straight now. Mayer all over the back of him. Got to have a chance at the corkscrew, but can't screw it up, so to speak. But he might. Let's see if he goes for it. Yeah, Edward Savagian was very defensive up there, like he will be. You play that. That's a nice little slide coming down the hill there by Sam. Nicely done. That shows that driver's skill. Merrill right on the back bumper.
This is good. This is really good because Merrill's closer than he's ever been in this race to Matos. Matos, remember, overtook him into this turn 11. It's not going to happen for Merrill this time, but Skeen's now starting to show as well.
Well, I just saw right there why Matos is so fast into turn 11. He gets through turn 10 better than any of them.
Right.
He made it through turn 10. Merrill was right on his back bumper getting into 10. And Rafa just smoked it through turn 10.
Well, in one of the articles in the weekend, Merrill was describing the fact that he thinks that he has the advantage here at Laguna. Yes, it's his home circuit, but he really believes that the exit of the corkscrew and down the rainy curves to 10 and 11 is really where he shines. And I do think, mystically, that's a place where you can gain a lot of time if you play it right. It's a funny combination of corners, but if you do it right and you're on the right line and the right pressure on the gauge, as it were, you can get it faster than others.
Oh, I agree. I mean, I was watching it yesterday, even in the TA practice. So that's, when Chris Dyson went to another planet, that's what he was doing, just so much crazier than everyone else up there, was at the corkscrew. He was definitely attacking it and getting through it and down rainy better than anyone else.
So we are getting down to the tick-tock time. 14 minutes to go. We've had plenty of drama to talk of. And there's going to be more. I think there's going to be one more twist to this, don't you?
Oh, yeah. This isn't over yet. No, this isn't over yet. And cautions breed cautions, although we got away with that one pretty clean. But right here, these top three are right on top of each other.
And I just saw that Adrian Lostofsky's just joined us. What's going on, my friend?
We lost a brake master cylinder, most likely, going into the corkscrew, so we...
Well, we might have plenty of time to talk about this in a moment. Stephen Lustig's just gone wrong. But you're listening to Adrian Lostofsky, who was just out there, and he's just about to tell us again, start again, because we had that moment with Lustig.
Yeah, we most likely lost a brake master cylinder going into the corkscrew. I went through the dirt, damaged the splitter. Tried making my way back to pit lane, and we actually doing pace speed. I actually went off again, almost got stuck in the gravel there, and just slowly made it down pit road. There's something going on with the brakes. One of the master cylinders must have went.
We were talking about Ken Thwaites making the transition to this sort of racing. How are you enjoying it?
Oh, I love it. I feel like we have a lot of speed. I feel like we had a 6th-place car today, 7th-place car. We just got to get all the bugs worked out. I think it's always like that when you have a new car, a new team, new class, and stuff like that. But once we get it all figured out, we'll definitely be running up front.
Well, we've got 12 minutes to go. Adam Andretti, Adrian Lostofsky, what's your thoughts on how this is going to pan out? Can Matos hold them off?
I think he's looking strong, and he's looking, like I said, one of the key passing zones here is turn 11. And I don't see anyone getting through turn 10 as well as he is. He's just really ripping it through there, and I mean, even there you could physically see a little bit of gap from the apex to the exit change.
Was it gear choice? What's he doing?
Who knows? Who knows? They may have gone with a different gear choice. It may just be his driving. It may be that's where he focused on the weekend, knowing how many races he's run here at Laguna, knowing where he needed to be strong and things like that. But Adrian, how's the grip levels out there today?
Actually, it's much better than the first day we were here. First day we were here, the track was very slick. Now I feel like it's very good. I don't know if it's the cooler air or there's less sand on the track, but it felt much better.
Well, Mike Skeen obviously wants to get his championship back going again. He started brilliantly at Sebring, as he always does, but he is down in the points to the man in front of him, Thomas Merrill, who leads the championship coming into round 3. And will continue to do so.
And Thomas is just hanging on to that Mike Cope car right now. That thing is sliding around. You see that there coming out of 3?
He has. I think he ran 10 laps in qualifying, and I think Rafa ran 5 laps in qualifying, so he does have 5 more laps on his tires.
That's a big difference. Point, yeah, that's a big difference.
Skeen looking for a way past Merrill for a moment there, and right behind them, Sam Mayer. This is getting very tasty. 11 minutes to go. And you can throw a blanket over the chasing pack. Here we go! And Skeen squeezes through at the Corkscrew. Well, have a taste of that wine, because he just uncorked that one.
Wow, what a beautiful move. What a beautiful move there. And like I said, you know, right off Mike Skeen at your own peril, right? I mean, here he is, P2. You got 10 minutes left in this race. Now that's a timed race. I wouldn't put it past Mike to close this gap up and make this a race.
Really good stuff by Mike Skeen, and now we'll see if he can get any quicker as he heads up the straight to go in pursuit now of Rafa Matos. Skeen up to second, Merrill now third, Savajian looking for that elusive podium and is still very much on for it. Look at him right there, and likewise Sam Mayer.
Yeah, Sam's still sitting there working with Edward Savajian. Edward's done a heck of a job at holding off Sam. You know, that's a really good run for Edward. I know, like, this would really put his whole weekend together. I know he really wants one more spot to be up on that podium, but I know that he would feel like that 4th place to him would almost feel as good.
I said it earlier, Adrian, Rafa needs this one. He's not had the perfect start to the year, and he's a confidence driver. If he can get this one under his belt, the championship is well on for him, isn't it?
Definitely, and the confidence coming out of a win, carrying that momentum to the next race, really, it's unbeatable. Just for the whole team, for the driver, everyone.
Yeah, for sure. I mean, when you ride the highs of this sport like that, and you're right, the whole group gets to do it, you know, and your biggest fans are those that are spinning the wrenches for you. So, you know, it's a whole group effort to win these things. And like we were saying before, it's one of the most competitive paddocks out there in all professional motorsports. So to win a race at this level is a big deal. And I know Rafa feels that way, you know. Rafa's won on every level, and he knows that what a challenge TA2 is. And that's why he's found a home here, is he loves that challenge.
Yeah, and he's had an interesting few years. He bounced into the three-dimensional services team in 2018, got his first win at Road Atlanta, went on to take the championship, then joined the Silver Hair team and didn't have the best of starts to the season, got better as the season went on. It was a new team, so that makes sense. But now he's rejoined Doug Peterson, and I think he was expecting, or the team were hoping, that he would just go back into the stride that he had in 2018. It's never that easy, though, but this could be a pivotal moment weekend for him.
For sure, and he almost did, right? Other than Merrill spoiling him, you know, at Sebring, he had a great Sebring race, and you know, just very similar to what this is looking like. You know, he kind of checked out and looked like he had the race at hand, and late race caution brought it back together, and we went green-white checker, and Thomas took advantage of it and was able to get around him there in 17 at Sebring. But he looks in form today. His restarts have been brilliant, and Laguna is a much tougher place to pass. What do you think, Adrian?
Yeah, it's a very difficult place to pass, and with Rafa, going back to Rafa, he has really good qualifying every race weekend, and sometimes when you don't have the finishes to go with that, it gets very frustrating. So he must feel really good right now, running in first. Always qualifies well, so he needs a win for his team. I mean, I think it'll pick up his momentum there and morale.
And this will be good for the team. Doug Peterson crashing out early on of the race. Big disappointment for him, so he'll be watching on the sidelines now as Rafa comes into 11 with 7.5 minutes to go. Skeen will keep him honest. And now Sam Mayer in the 28 all over. So, excuse me, Connor Mosak, excuse me.
Yeah, that's Connor.
It's confusing me, yeah.
Well, like I said, Thomas looks like he drove the rear off the car. There's no rear tires. I don't want to say he drove the rear off. It's not necessarily him, but it looks like there's just no more rear grip left in that car. He's sliding around all the lot.
Yeah, he is. He's a mess.
Yeah, he can't get that power down, and here we go. Connor's gonna Connor's going to go get a lap back off of him.
Yeah. Yeah, he's struggling, isn't he?
Yeah, he can't get the power down. That's really kicking the back end out on him.
So time running out, and this is going to be an emotional win for Rafa Matos if he can do it, because I spoke to him earlier in the weekend. He's got a cousin that he lost, Mariana, on the side of the car, so he'll be, I'm sure, either dedicating it to her or at least remembering her from this weekend, because it was a new add to his car this weekend, and so he wanted to go out and win for sure. And he's done everything right. We thought he got pole position yesterday, and he just got pipped on the very last lap by Mike Skeen, who hasn't been as competitive in race trim, perhaps, as Rafa Matos, who did a brilliant move to take the lead. And now, time running out.
Yeah, he's definitely driving with that heavy heart. He's driving inspired, and you can see it. You know, you can definitely see it in his form throughout the weekend. I know he really wanted that pole, and got nit from him, but he's driving a flawless race. To say that, Mike Skeen is gaining a little bit of time. You know, Mike Skeen is now right there within 2 seconds. You know, so he's closed that gap up about a tenth or tenth and a half.
Good battle also between Edward Savagian and Sam Mayer. Got confused with Connor Mosack, of course, a lap down, but Mayer all over the back of Savagian, and Gallagher going off on the Madison car, number 16. That's the second time he's had problems today.
Remember how we said one more caution?
Yes.
Oh, boy.
Uh-oh. Scott Borchetta's had a good run. Currently in 8th position, just ahead of Brad McAllister. He's chasing down Michael Self, and he's got a chance of overtaking him with 5 minutes to go in the spiked 48.
Yeah, he's looking really good. Borchetta's really strong here at the end here, and looks like he's poised for the attack onto Michael Self. Beautiful Sinclair car. Love that livery too. That's such a sharp looking car, and really do a nice job. The product.
Yeah,
on
you
track.
can't miss it, can you?
No, you cannot.
Well, there's Gallagher parked up as we take a look up the Ray Hall Straight.
He's definitely not in the most dangerous position. I will say that. He is inside of the track, on the inside. There's really, you know, I don't see race control overreacting on this one with less than 5 minutes to go.
You know, I don't think Merrill's going to be bothered about Connor getting in the way, because he's got a solid third place regardless of the car slipping and sliding underneath him. Here's that battle I'm interested in. It's just on how Sam Mayer can possibly make a move on Edward Savagian. Let's see if he does something here coming into the final corner.
It looked like he was sizing him up for 11, didn't it, Jonathan?
Yeah, he did, didn't it? Yeah. Well, we'll soon find out. Here we go. No, didn't quite do it, but he's got another chance. This is a great battle here for 4th position.
Yeah, it is, boy, and it's a be bittersweet, right, for Edward to be running 4th for almost the whole race, and then having
qualified 4th. Yeah.
Yep. So it's a really, really nice run for him today. No matter what the outcome is, hold his head high on the company he kept all day, and the race that he ran and the weekend he put together. It was just really a whole weekend. And you know, Adrian, it's so important not only to have a great race, but to put the weekend together.
Yeah, yeah.
You know, carry momentum from session to session.
Yeah, definitely. You don't want to, you know, if you do well in practice, you do well in qualifying, you do well in a race, you had a good solid weekend, you go back happy. You know, like us right now, our Hawk Performance Camaro was doing so well. You know, first practice, we did a little bit of work, we kept getting faster, we qualified 9th, and we felt like we had a 6th place car this weekend, and we're like, wow, this is one of the best cars we've ever had, and we don't even know the track here in California, in Laguna Seca, so we were excited, and I told the team we're gonna save a lot of the car for the last 10 laps. We're gonna just take it easy, stay on tail end, not be too aggressive, and you know, it's frustrating. It's still we don't get to finish the race, you know, so it's frustrating.
Yeah, I hate it for you. As a racer, you know that, right?
Yep.
You know, it guts you when you put it all in there, and then you know, the mechanical failures are the hard ones to swallow, and but you'll bounce back from it. You guys will be stronger in the long run from it, and we all know that, and looking forward to your next time out again. All of us.
And Adrian, I don't know who did your design, but it pings on TV. You can really see that car. I was up on the hill yesterday, and I was watching you qualify and practice, and I was like, wow, you can really read the whole thing and see it. Looks great.
Yeah, that's Hawk Performance. John Butler, Taylor Allen, those guys designed the whole design, and we just fine-tuned it a little bit and came out with a really good livery there.
Someone just lit a fire underneath Rafa.
Yes.
He cut off
I think he was listening to your commentary at the start of the race.
He cut off a 139. I'm at a 130.9. I haven't seen anyone in the 130s since early on in this race, so he's definitely putting down the qualifying laps right now, Adrian. That's going to be tough to beat if he keeps that up, because Mike Skeen tried to answer the call, put out the fastest lap of his recent laps, and was still 3/10 off of what Rafa was able to pull off. So Rafa is in a zone here.
Yeah, no question.
Like you said, Jonathan, driving inspired. He wants to really get this one, bring it home for his family, and you know, and have that beautiful tribute.
And like I said, you know, I said this was going to be an important weekend for both Skeen and Matos, and it's proved that way, because Skeen won't be disappointed with second place. He struggled by his standards throughout most of this race. He didn't get the perfect start. He was struggling to stay in third, and even at the restarts, he wasn't the fastest restarter. And to see him there in second place, and comfortably so, he's going to be pleased with that. His car obviously going off as well.
Well, they know the points leader's in third, and that's the biggest thing, right? They know that points leader's in third, and that they made those gains, and Rafa almost maximized points, right? Because he's going to lead the most laps today, and he's going to, you know, only point he didn't get was for the pole. Here's one lap to go, final lap.
Final lap, and the question is, can Mayer get past Savagin? Will Rafa Matos hold on and do the perfect job here at Raceway? That is Laguna Seca, the WeatherTech Raceway Laguna Seca, I should say. But Matos has done a immaculate performance. He could have been pole position. He wanted those points, didn't get them, but now he's beaten Skeen on the road.
He's put in a championship drive for sure. I mean, really, really happy for him. He's not put a wheel wrong. I mean, look at all the road he's using there. I mean, not an inch left of that road on this racetrack. That's showing confidence, and if you're doing that at the end of the race, that's oozing confidence, and he is checked out, and he is still laying down the lap to come to that checkered flag.
Yeah, he definitely got into a rhythm there at the end. The last 10 laps now, it's been a perfect rhythm, and when you get to that rhythm, and you know that you get to a rhythm where you're just driving perfectly turn by turn by turn, and the lap times show, and you're actually not using up as much tire, and you have a lot left at the end there.
You got it, Adrian.
Here we go then, one more corner to go for Rafa Matos, the Brazilian-American. He's got the American flag on the top of the car, and he'll celebrate with that flag because it's a touch of Matos magic in Monterey as he comes towards the checkered flag and takes it in style here in California. Matos wins his first race of the season and moves to second overall in the championship.